In the buzzing world of football, where talent is revered and promise is scrutinized, emerges a name that's sending shockwaves through Stamford Bridge and the world over. Chelsea's latest prodigy, Cole Palmer, isn't just a rising star. He's a beacon of hope, a testament to the club's unwavering commitment to nurturing raw talent. From the storied streets of Manchester to the hallowed grounds of Chelsea's first team, Palmer's journey is as captivating as it's inspiring. A journey filled with passion, perseverance and sheer talent, propelling him into the spotlight, ready to leave an indelible mark on the footballing world. At just 21 years, Palmer has become the face of this new Chelsea side that has been below average and is definitely regarded as the best signing of the Todd Boehly era. From nearly getting kicked out of the Manchester City academy, the young star has grown into a dependable player for the Blues, playing in almost every match and giving man-of-the-match performances. Who is this seemingly shy chap, and where does he originate from? Because for sure, players like him don't just spawn out of the ether, but can he be Chelsea's answer to De Bruyne, whom we belie the club regrets selling before he found a new home at the Manchester club? Well, we can only find an answer to that if we go back to the early 2010s. Cole Jermaine Palmer was born in May 2002 in Wythenshawe, Manchester. He joined his first academy at a very young age, and it was not Manchester City, but a local hangout club, NJ Wythenshawe. It did not take long before the big boys came calling, and it was both the Manchester clubs, City and United. Before we tell you how he ended up at City, just a quick note that the boy was Man United diehard fan. When I was growing up, I used to watch all the football, and the one that sticks in my mind is Rooney. Ever since I was a little kid, he's been my footballing hero. But why did he not end up at United, despite the club showing interest in him? Here was a club with a rich history, one filled with success stories, but he chose to go to City, a club that was coming up as a modern-day juggernaut, and it was because of his father he made this major decision for him. According to his father, City has better youth development facilities, and his son could develop and grow into the player he wanted, the player we see today. It was a perfect decision, wasn't it? He was now behind enemy lines, but he still found a way to sneak in a tribute to his beloved club. According to his grandfather, Palmer always wore a United shirt despite being at City. Did the fact that he supported Man United hold him back while at City? Absolutely not. He joined the club and bossed it, all through the young academy setups. One thing, however, threatened to ruin his early development: his physique. In fact, he was almost kicked out of Manchester City Academy. You might not believe this, but at that age, Palmer was a bit on the short side and lacked the muscle of the other teammates, and this worried his coaches. Palmer stood as the smallest player both in the City Academy and the England youth teams, and this presented a serious battle. Unable to rely on strength, Palmer had to become creative and improvise. He used his small frame to easily and quickly get away from challenges before speeding off, a sight the Stamford Bridge crowd knows too well. It was not easy, but Palmer was determined and he never backed down. For a moment, it seemed as if City might not offer him a scholarship, but Jason Wilcox, who was the academy director at the time, moved in and saved the day for Palmer. It was close. This close call pushed him to work even harder, become more aggressive. He knew that it could only get tough now that he was moving to a stage where he will meet even better and competitive players. City, just like any other European giant, always goes for the best talents across the world for every age group. He knew he had to be at his competitive best for him to stand any chance of going all the way to the top. He first made his mark with City's under-18 team during the 2018-19 season, netting 4 goals and an assist in just 11 appearances. He then rose to captain the under-18s team during the 2019-20 season, and he was instrumental as the young citizens won the league and cup competition. When he faced Chelsea in the under-18 FA Youth Cup, he first assisted the equaliser before netting the winner late on. In 14 matches in the under-18 league, Palmer scored 15 goals and registered 5 assists. He was a rising star destined for the top. He was eventually promoted to the under-23 team, and he continued to impress. It was not just at the club he was making headlines. He had found his way into the England youth team, and there, just like at City, he kept banging in goals and putting in man-of-the-match performances. As all of this was happening, Pep Guardiola was watching him from a distance, and the impressive reports kept coming in. The Spaniard decided to reward him with a permanent training spot with a senior team. He knew he could develop into a world-class star under Guardiola's wings, and he fully seized the opportunity. He finally made his City debut in September 2020, coming off the bench during an EFL Cup tie against Burnley, and as usual, he impressed. His first Man City goal came in 6-1 over the Wycombe Wanderers in the EFL Cup in 2021. It was the moment he announced his arrival on the big stage. Then in October, he made his Premier League debut at Turf Moor against Burnley once again, and he even had time to feature for the under-23 side on the same night, and even managing to score a hat-trick. There was a new kid on the block. He still continued banging in goals for the under-23 side, even though appearances for the senior team were not as many. He became a regular off the bench in 2022-23 season, stepping on the turf 25 times. He was mostly deployed in the left wing and featured in some critical games in all competitions, playing against the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea. His star really rose in the summer when he scored in the UEFA Super Cup final against Sevilla and the Community Shield against Arsenal, something no other player has ever managed since Michael Owen, scoring the UEFA Super Cup and the Community Shield in the same season. Despite his form though, there was simply too much competition at the Etihad. City had experienced attacking players. And then Pep dropped a bombshell. Palmer had to either be sold or make peace with coming off the bench. The winger chose the former. Loan deal was not an option here, which Palmer could have taken. He was okay with going out on loan and coming back stronger, but that was not to be the case. He made peace with it and somehow convinced himself that despite staying at City since he was 8 years, perhaps his future was not cast on stone at the club. A £40 million deal was agreed with Chelsea, and he was thrown into action the following day against Nottingham Forest. He, however, had to wait until October 7th for his first Chelsea goal, converting from the spot kick in a match Chelsea came from behind to beat Burnley. Then scored again in November as Chelsea won a thrilling London derby against Tottenham Hotspur, but it was on November 13th that he will perhaps remember the most. Manchester City visited Stamford Bridge in a Premier League clash, which turned out to be a classic. The match ended 4-4, and guess who was there to score the equaliser from the spot against his former side? Yup, Cole Palmer. In Peter Drury's words, City's boy is now Chelsea's man. We sure Pep definitely regretted that one. He first demonstrated he will become a key player for Chelsea after he scored against Tottenham, Man City, Man United and Arsenal, all in a space of 7 games towards the end of the year. Then he scored that goal that might be the goal of the season against Luton and managed to carry his form into 2024. He's currently atop the charts of goals scored and assists provided across Europe's top leagues, further underlining his quality. Perhaps he's not getting the recognition he deserves because Chelsea have been below average all season, but Palmer is a world-class player with the ability to create special moments in big games. He's already bagged the Men's Player of the Year award at the London Football Awards, so can Palmer become as good as De Bruyne one day? Maybe, maybe not. You see, these are two different types of players. KDB is arguably one of the best, if not the best midfielders, which the Premier League has ever seen. What he's achieved at City and the impact he's had on games for club and country is unmatched. Palmer, on the other hand, enjoys dribbling and is a clutch goal scorer, but we can confidently say the two are similar in the way they both impact games, scoring important goals and generally lifting the standards of those they play with. Both players, when faced with the challenge of era-defining managers, they both chose to build their own legacy. De Bruyne left Chelsea when he felt that he was not going to get the desired minutes to reach top level, and Palmer pulled a similar move. Chelsea are a side in transition, and it will take time before they get back to battling for top honours, but with Palmer leading the team once again thanks to his goals and ability to decide matches, glory days will for sure return to Stamford Bridge, and he'll be leading this new Chelsea side. For Chelsea fans, Palmer evokes a memory of Frank Lampard and Joe Cole, players who became club legends. He's also in the frame to become a regular starter for the Three Lions team, and fans are piling pressure on Gareth Southgate to make sure he starts him at the Euro finals. For now, Palmer is deservedly enjoying the limelight, and for sure, his only way seems up. What do you think about Palmer's season so far? Does he have the ability to become the best in the world and perhaps go on to win the Ballon d'Or? Let us know in the comments below.